Hello friends and welcome to YouTube channel Freedom Tech, and in this session what we are going to learn. In this session we are going to configure Google Coral USB accelerator with Raspberry Pi 4, 4GB RAM using latest Raspberry Pi OS Bookworm 64-bit version. But before we move to our practical, friends, if you learned something from our videos, please consider to subscribe our channel. Okay friends, thank you so much and let's get started. So friends, as I mentioned, today we are going to configure Google Coral USB accelerator with Raspberry Pi 4, 4GB RAM. So as you can see, this is what our Coral USB accelerator. Simple. This is what our main device, and then we have here our connector, a USB connector which we are going to use for connecting this Coral USB device with our Raspberry Pi 4, 4GB RAM. For better performance, we need to connect this USB accelerator with Raspberry Pi port USB 3.0. So again, for better performance, we need to connect this USB accelerator with Raspberry Pi 4 USB port 3.0, which comes with color blue. So just connect this Coral USB accelerator with Raspberry Pi USB port 3.0. So this is how we want to connect this hardware with Raspberry Pi 4. Now simply we are going to start our installation process on latest Raspberry Pi Bookworm 64-bit version. So let's just move on our desktop. So friends, now we are on our desktop, Raspberry Pi Bookworm 64-bit version with Raspberry Pi 4, 4GB RAM. Simple. So let me open here a terminal, and if I run here uname -a command, as you can see ARC64, it means this is a 64-bit version of our Raspberry Pi Bookworm latest operating system. So let's just start our installation video. For that, first we need our repository. I will mention the link of our repository inside description box. You need to simply copy paste the link inside the web browser. So this is what our repository, Google Coral USB Raspberry Pi 4. Go to the code, click on download zip, and it will download our zip format repository. As you can see, we successfully download our repository. Just open, and inside downloads, as you can see, this is what our zip format repository. Right click on extract here, and it will extract our repository as our folder. So just open our folder, and inside that I have create install steps text file, a normal text file. So right click to the install steps text file, open with the text editor, and it will open our install steps file, a normal text file, with the help of our text editor. That's it. So for Google Coral USB, we need Python 3.9.12 version on our Bookworm. But by default, if I run here a command python space --, version, and if I hit enter, by default we have here Python 3.11.2. so we need to install first Python 3.9.12 version, and we are going to install Python 3.9.12 basically on our virtual environment. We are going to create here a virtual environment, and inside that environment we are going to install Python 3.9.12, and then we are going to install our Google Coral USB. That's it. So let me clear screen, and we are going to first install Python 3.9.12. So first command is this one, sudo apt update. Just copy it from text file, just copy it, sudo apt update command, open terminal, and just paste command inside our terminal, and then hit enter. It will update our repository. As you can see, process is started. Done. Now simply we are going to upgrade our packages. So the next command, sudo apt get upgrade, just copy it from text file, open terminal, and then just paste it and then hit enter. So for upgrading it will take some time. As you can see, the process is started, and here we want to simply mention yes because we want to upgrade all these packages. So just press Y from keyboard and then hit enter. So now it will upgrade packages. So it will take some time. Meanwhile, I will pause video. So friends, as you can see, we have done with our upgrading process. We successfully completed upgrading process. Now before we start our next command, as I mentioned, we are going to create here virtual environment. So for that, first create a new directory. So here, as you can see, if I run here pwd command, so right now we are inside /home/pi. So here we are going to create a new directory, mkdir space, mention any name. So mkdir is the command, space, mention your directory name. So freedom tech, in my case I have created a new directory which is freedom tech. So if I run here ls command, as you can see, we just created freedom tech, a new directory. Now we want to go inside this freedom tech directory. So command is what? cd space and mention the directory which you just create, freedom tech in my case. So cd space and mention your directory name. So now if I run pwd command, right now as you can see, we are now inside /home/pi and freedom tech directory. So here inside this freedom tech directory, we are going to create our virtual environment and we are going to install Python 3.9.12 only for this directory. Only for this directory we are going to create virtual environment, and then we are going to install our HTTPU and our Python 3.9.12 version. Ready? So we are now inside our directory. So here we are going to run our next command. So our next command is basically third one. So just copy the third one command, copy it from our text file, just copy as it is, open terminal and just paste here and then just hit enter. As you can see, a process is started. Done. Now our next command. So next command is basically fourth one. So fourth command is starting from here echo and it will end at shell. So just copy from echo to shell like this way. Just copy echo to shell. Just copy it, open terminal and just paste as it is. Just paste it and then just hit enter. Done. Now we are going to install some packages. So fifth command, just copy as it is, copy as it is, copy it, open terminal and then just paste our fifth command and then just hit enter. So it will install all these packages which we need for Python 3.9.12 version. So it will take some time. Again, meanwhile I will pause the video. So friends, we have done with our command 5. We have successfully installed our packages. Now we are going to install Python 3.9.12. As you can see, so 6th number command, just copy as it is, just copy it, open terminal, and as you can see, as I mentioned, we are inside freedom tech directory still. So just paste here our 6th number command and then hit enter. Now it will install Python 3.9.12 only for the directory which we created, the directory which we are now inside, which is the freedom tech directory. So it will take some time for installing a Python 3.9.12 version. Meanwhile, I will pause video. So friends, as you can see, we have successfully installed Python 3.9.12 version. Here it is. As you can see, when we started installing process, there is a message installing Python 3.9.12, and when we completed process, it says installed Python 3.9.12. Done. Now simply we are going to run our command number 7. So command number 7, just copy as it is from our text file, copy it, open terminal and then just paste it, paste here and then just hit enter. Done. Now if you run our number 8 command for checking our Python version for only Freedom Tech directory, we are now inside of Freedom Tech directory. So if you run the 8 number command, copy it, open terminal, and let me clear here a screen. And now if you run, paste the command python space -- version, and now as you can see we have here Python 3.9.12 for only this Freedom Tech directory. If you go here file, if you open new tab, and here as you can see this is the new tab, and this one is basically old tab where we already checked the Python version, which is Python 3.9.12, and this is the new tab which I have opened, and we are now inside our Freedom Tech directory. So here what we want to do, we want to come out from the Freedom Tech directory. So let me just run here cd command, clear the screen. So now as you can see I have come out from the Freedom Tech directory. So right now I am inside /home/py directory. I am not inside a /home/py Freedom Tech directory. And if I run here a command, the 8 number command, which is Python space -- version, here it is, as you can see it says Python 3.11.2, means for, as I mentioned, we are going to create a virtual environment inside our Freedom Tech directory, and we are going to install Python 3.9.12 only for this Freedom Tech directory. That's why here we are now out from our Freedom Tech directory, and here outside Freedom Tech directory still we have our default version, which is Python 3.11.2. Simple, that's it. So let's just close this tab. Now we have done, now we are ready, and we can simply install our main packages, which is HTTPU. That's it. So as I mentioned, I have connected the USB device, our Coral USB device, with Raspberry Pi 4 with USB port 3.0, USB port 3.0, which is basically in blue color. So connect your hardware with Raspberry Pi 4 USB port 3.0. So how do we check? Here LSUSB command, LSUSB command, and then just hit enter. And this one, as you can see, Global Unichip Corporation, Global Unichip Corporation. So this is what our hardware, this is what our Google Coral USB accelerator device. If see this device, when you run LSUSB command, if you see Global Unichip Corporation, means you successfully connect your hardware, your Google Coral USB with Raspberry Pi 4. Done. So now we are ready, and we are going to create, means we are going to go inside our virtual environment. So for virtual environment, here it is, as you can see, Google Coral USB. We have done with this process, we have done with this session, install Python 3.9.12. we have done with this all 8 commands. Now we are going to move with our next session, which is Google Coral USB session. So here first command is this one, so just copy as it is. This command, the first one, as you can see, we have here 2 commands basically. So start from Python 3 and end at activate. So copy as it is, copy it, open terminal, and run the command inside Freedom Tech directory, as I mentioned, because inside Freedom Tech directory we have our Python version, we have our virtual environment. So first we want to activate our environment. So for activating virtual environment we need these commands, first one command. So as I mentioned, just copy as it is, copy it, open terminal, and then just paste, hit enter. It will activate our virtual environment. As you can see friends, I have entered this command and we are now inside our virtual environment. Here it is, as you can see. You will see here .venv means we are now inside our virtual environment. So for activating virtual environment, we need to simply copy this first command, copy as it is, open terminal, and then paste inside terminal this command and just hit enter. We are now inside our virtual environment. Now next command, pip install HTPU Silva. So just copy the second command, open terminal and just paste here and then hit enter. It will install HTPU Silva packages on our Raspberry Pi 4 Bookworm 64-bit version. It will install all the YOLO V8 object detection packages. Also it will install OpenCV. As you can see, it will install OpenCV Python, it will install TensorFlow, it will install Ultralytics, it will install all the packages which we require for YOLO V8 object detection with the help of HTPU Google Coral USB accelerator device. So it will take some time. Meanwhile, I will pause video. So friends, as you can see, we have done with our second command also. Now we are going to run our third command. So just copy the third one command, copy as it is from our text file, third command, open terminal and just paste it here. Paste it and just hit enter. And as you can see, it started a process, so it will take some time. As you can see, it says this may take a moment. So meanwhile, I will pause video. So friends, as you can see, we run our third one command and we have done with our third command also. It says setup installation for Linux Debian completed. It means we have completed our HTPU installation process. We have completed our Google Coral USB HTPU accelerator hardware installation process completed. Simple. We have done. Now simply let's just close all these things. Let's just close terminal also, and we are going to basically reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. Let's just close our Google Chrome browser also. So we are going to reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. So go to the menu, click on shutdown, and then here it is. As you can see, we have shutdown options. So we want to simply reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. So now let me reboot the Raspberry Pi 4. Then I am going to start video again. So friends, I have successfully reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. Now again simply open our repository. So go to the file manager, go to the downloads, and this is what our repository, and open install -steps, which is our text file. Just open it, click on it, and it will open with the text editor, as you can see. And now open terminal and run the cd freedomtech command, cd space freedomtech, and just hit enter. Now we are inside our repository, and here again we want to activate our virtual environment. So for this, for activating virtual environment, we need to copy this command, the source command. As you can see, for source.venv/bin/activate. This is the command for activating a virtual environment. So copy as it is, open terminal and paste here inside freedomtech directory, paste here, then just hit enter. As you can see, now we successfully activated our virtual environment. Now here from this virtual environment, just open Thonny Python IDE. So just run Thonny command, Thonny, and hit enter. It will open our Thonny Python IDE with the help of our virtual environment. And here go to the run config interpreter, and by default, because I have selected the Python 3.9.12 version, which is basically available in virtual environment, but in your case by default you will see we have Python 3.11.2 version. By default you will see Python 3.11.2 version. So how do we change the version? Simply go to the run config interpreter, and here as you can see bin Python 3. Here we want to select our virtual environment directory, which is this one. As you can see, /home/pi freedomtech.venv bin Python 3.9. Just select it, click on OK, and then it will change our Python 3.9.12 version. As you can see, we successfully change it. Now we successfully change the version. So now simply close the Tony Python IDE from the terminal. As you can see, we close because we open Tony Python IDE with the help of terminal using our virtual environment, using our directory of FreedomTech. Now simply we activate our Python 3.9.12 version with virtual environment inside our Tony Python IDE. Now simply we can open Tony Python IDE from menu also. So now just close it from the terminal. So I have closed the Tony Python IDE from terminal, and now simply I will open from menu section. So go to the menu, programming, Tony. It will open our Tony Python IDE, and in your case, suppose still you will see here Python 3.11 version, same process, go to the run config interpreter. Then here we want to select our /home/py freedomtech.venv bin Python 3.9, our virtual environment, and then it will activate our Python version. Simple. Now we are ready, and we are going to open our test.py code for testing our USB accelerator device, our Google Coral USB accelerator device. So just click on open. Then go to the downloads, our repository, our test.py code, and here we are going to test our two model. First one with 240 image size, and then we have next model which is 192. Here it is, as you can see, basically we have here two model. First we are going to test our 240 IMG size model, and then we are going to test 192 IMG size model. So for that I have firstly mentioned by default 240 image size model, this one. Just right click, rename, copy that model name and mention over here. Just mention over here. So I have already mentioned, because we are going to test first 240 IMG size model, and here where we call our model result is equal to model.predict, here it is, as you can see I have mentioned IMG SZ is equal to 240. This is what our image size, because we have here 240 image size model, HTPU.TF Lite version, and I have connected the USB web camera, and here it is, as you can see I have mentioned here C2.video capture 0. 0 is basically for the index number of USB web camera, the index number of the camera. So I have here only one USB camera, so I have mentioned here a 0. And here we want to install here basically one more package, because here it is, as you can see I have mentioned here CVZone package also. So go to the tools, manage packages, and then just search for CVZone. Hit enter. CVZone package, click on install, and it will install CVZone package. We have successfully installed our CVZone package also. Now we are ready, and simply we are going to start our code. And here let me mention one more thing. Here we are going to use by default coco.txt label IMG, a text file inside our repository. Here it is, as you can see I have mentioned coco.txt file. If you open this file with the help of text editor, so this is the object, this is the by default object which we detect with the help of pre-trained object detection model for HTPU device, Google Coral USB HTPU device. Simple. So we have done with all these things. Now let's just start our code. So friends, as you can see, it's detected me as a person, and if I show here, I have here my mobile device, and here it is, as you can see it's detecting cell phone also. It's detecting a cell phone also. Let me make like this way, cell phone. Here it is, as you can see it's detecting me as a person, also is detecting a cell phone, and we are getting here basically FPS is 5. It's continuously increasing because same time I am recording on Raspberry Pi 4. That's why we have here FPS rate is basically 6. But if I stop my recording process, I will get 18 FPS, 18 FPS. So now here we have a chair. As you can see, it's detected a chair also. It's detecting me as a person. Also, it's detecting a chair also. Simple, and we are getting here 6 FPS. Same time when we recording on Raspberry Pi 4, 4 GB RAM. 4 GB RAM. So we successfully configure our Google Coral USB accelerator with Raspberry Pi 4. We are detecting our objects with the help of YOLO V8 at 7 FPS. As I mentioned, right now I am recording, that's why we getting here a 7 FPS. But if you stop a recording, you will get minimum 15 to 18 FPS rate, because I have already cross checked. Simple. So let me stop here our code. So friends, this is how you can configure Google Coral USB accelerator device with Raspberry Pi 4 on latest Raspbian OS Bookworm 64-bit version. In next video, we are going to create our own custom object detection model for Google Coral USB accelerator device. So this is for today. We will meet our next video. Till then, thank you, take care, and bye bye.